Hello, everybody. This is A Serious Man. I'm about to go watch the Batman movie. I'll give you my first impressions afterwards. I have to say, going in, I've got mixed feelings. When I first saw the trailer, I thought it could be pretty badass. Then I heard it was going to be 3 hours. And then I was reminded that it was from the same director who did War for the Planet of the Apes, which was a movie that I thought the trailer was great, and then I went to go see, and had trouble staying awake for it. But then I saw a bunch of reviews. I'm going to go try it out, see what I think, tell you what I think afterwards. Okay, so I just finished watching The Batman. I'll give you my full review, spoiler-free review in just a bit.
He's a serious man. He's a serious man. A serious man. A serious man.
So I watched The Batman, and I'll give you my thoughts in 5. You want to know the truth? You want to know the truth? I really liked this movie. I really did. It was dark. It was gritty. It was the best Batman movie that's been made so far. You know, it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And I'm glad I went and saw it.
He is a serious man.
Alright, so what can I say about this movie? The Batman is a very interesting movie. It is dark. It is gritty. I'd say it is the darkest, it is the grittiest Batman movie that's ever come out. So one of the reasons I decided to go see this movie, even though I wasn't quite sure what I was going to think about it, was when I saw the latest clip with John Turturro as the Falcone. John Turturro is one of my favorite actors, so that kind of sold me on it. And he is good. The actors are all pretty good in this movie. The first thing I thought about when this movie started, from the very beginning, there were two things that this movie reminded me of. The first was Blade Runner, which actually kind of surprised me. The gritty, dark, urban noir, everything from the opening, the narration, the detective story, the noirish, gritty, dark. Yes, I've said gritty a million times. The second thing it reminded me of was the video game L.A. Noire, which was a game that I really liked. This movie really does have a lot of contradictions, because on the one hand, it's a dark, gritty movie, like I said, the darkest Batman movie we've ever had. It really leans in on the detective elements. Visually, stylistically, it's very dark. Even though it's sort of a gruesome movie, gruesome's not the right word, actually moody. It's atmospheric. It's kind of tense. It's probably the least violent Batman movie that I've ever seen. Because most of the violence is implied. It doesn't show, it just implies. It's actually scarier that way. In a lot of ways, this movie is the polar opposite of a movie like Dark Knight or Dark Knight Rises, which is really one of my favorite Batman movies, even more than Dark Knight. That's a movie that's constantly rising. It's got a pace that's constantly moving. And in this one is one that's slow and deliberate. And yet, it doesn't feel like a 3-hour movie. It keeps your attention all the time. But unlike the Christopher Nolan movies, for example, Dark Knight Rises, Batman was on screen for less than half an hour. In this movie, it's all about Batman. It's mostly Batman. Bruce Wayne is the mask, and Bruce Wayne doesn't have a lot of screen time. One of the complaints that you might see from comic book fans on this one, and this is a problem that they've had with a lot of the more recent Batman movies, the last 20 years, is that the villains are not much like the comic book villains. They're, in many ways, they're villains. They're like the villains in the comic books by name only. Even Heath Ledger's Joker was quite a departure, I think, in a lot of ways. Bane certainly was, although Bane was probably my favorite character. The Riddler in this is nothing like the Riddler. Really nothing like the Riddler, which I'm alright with. I'm okay with. I get it. They wanted to tell a story of a certain kind, so they have like the Zodiac Killer thing. I liked Robert Pattinson in this movie. He played the moody parts well. One of the other interesting sort of contradictions is that this is a movie that's a mystery. It leans heavily into the detective element. But the truth is there's not really a whole lot of mystery to solve. When you really sit down and you look at it and you think about it, there's not really a whole lot of mystery there. I've heard a lot of people say they didn't understand it, which I don't get, because it's pretty straightforward. I didn't think there was much mystery there. Without spoiling too much, there is sort of a major plot twist toward the end that is going to be... It's going to be a dead giveaway if you're familiar with The Long Halloween, the comic book which a lot of this was based on. So if you're familiar with that, there's a major plot twist that won't be much of a plot twist. Overall, it was a fun movie, entertaining. I enjoyed it. I have no idea how anyone else is going to feel about it. It's definitely different. It's a unique take on Batman. It's one that I really like because it really leans into the detective aspect. You have Batman working with the police. I suppose the mysteries are like the riddles, which are kind of interesting, kind of neat. Overall, I liked it. I give it a thumbs up. And I'm probably going to go see it again sometime. The 3 hours, it's like Spider-Man No Way Home. It doesn't feel as long as it is, which is a good thing. We'll have to see how it stands up on multiple viewings, but as it stands, I like it, and I'd say it's a must-see. So go see it.